I've always been a skeptic and had a natural avoidance of religion, so getting into a 12-step program was difficult. Not only did I have to overcome my own apprehension about seeking help, I had to struggle with the 12 steps program's own religious inferences. I wanted sterility, but I got God and spirituality tossed in my face. So, what's a person without a religious framework supposed to do? Let's first talk about the program itself. Most 12-step programs descend from Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a relic from 1938. That's right, 1938. Society in 1938 was a lot different than it is today. The spiritual undertones of America were predominantly Judeo-Christian, so it isn't a surprise that the 12-step framework tried to get people to dig into their own sensibilities and find a higher power through the recovery. At that point, they were already tapping into community roots, so it completely made sense. I don't believe, however, that the 12-step program is a proselytizing system. And the abundance of the 12-step programs means that those struggling with the addiction can easily find help anywhere they go. I went through several programs and found many people like me. People who weren't religious but found recovery and also discovered the power of the group dynamic. The 12-step program leans on God and higher power in most of the steps as an active force in helping addicts through their shortcomings. It also calls for spiritual awakening. Those are tough pills to swallow for a skeptic agnostic. So, how did I get through all this? It all came through step 2. Quoting, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. My addiction happened in isolation. I became isolated from the world around me and my family, and I didn't want help, and I didn't want solutions. It took a monumental effort to destroy everything I had worked so hard to attain, and I left nothing but self-loathing, pain, and misery behind. The reality was that my compulsive behaviors were beyond my ability to dig out. I needed a higher power, someone who knew more than I did, someone that could understand and related to the situations that I was in and could give me pragmatic solutions. My higher power was the people with the knowledge and the skill set to get me through this. The people in the 12-step program were my higher power. The counselors were my higher power. My yoga instructor was my higher power. The skill sets I learned and did were my higher power working through me. Once I had come to the realization that recovery isn't a one-man show, I could surrender to the process. And by surrender, I mean do things without fighting or resisting. I can still be skeptical and follow directions. If you read through the 12 steps, a non-religious person can use this higher power as an inference to God in your personal addiction story. You turn yourself over to others and regain your sanity. You turn your will and your life over to others because you can't currently trust your thoughts or cravings. You are ready to have others help and remove shortcomings and defects of your character. Being a part of the 12-step program allowed me to start doing some heavy lifting on my own problems, thanks in part to the skills of others who had been down that road before. Tapping into that knowledge is invaluable, and so is being able to share with a community of like-minded people. So is the 12-step program model dated? I won't lie, it probably is. Cognitive behavior therapy and acceptance commitment therapy should probably be on every addict's short-term to-do list, which means getting in contact with an associated therapist and making sure that they can do these sorts of treatments for you. However, the 12-step program is usually the cheaper option, and it's widely accessible. So don't let that word God scare you off from getting into a community. Step in and get comfortable and keep seeking that road to recovery.